Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Cloudbeds Live. My name is Paula. I'm a senior PR and partner marketing specialist at Cloudbeds and the host of today's show. In case this is your first time with us, we host live shows here on LinkedIn every month where I get to chat with renowned industry professionals about different topics in the hotel industry. All the episodes are recorded and can be found on our website, cloudbeds.com/videos. We've had amazing guests and great conversations so far, and today is no exception. So today's episode is all about AI auto search. And our guest is Craig Carbonniere. I'm always scared that I'm butchering your last name, Craig.
Perfect.
I
Perfect.
I hope I'm trying to do like a little bit like French thing, but I'm not even sure if this is right.
I love her. You did great.
So Craig is here, and he's an assistant vice president in sales hospitality at Milestone. Also a certified hospitality digital marketer from Southern California. Craig also serves on the HSMA's marketing advisory board and is the past president of the HSMA Los Angeles chapter. Crafter earned the award as one of the top 25 extraordinary minds in hospitality sales, marketing, and revenue optimizations. Congratulations. And is a trusted advisor to developing hotel e-commerce strategy. Okay, I think I said it all. So welcome to the show, Craig. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. And Paula, congratulations to you. I saw that influencer, one of the top influencers in hospitality. I couldn't agree anymore. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. You're always super kind. So thanks for having the time to talk to us. Sorry. I see people they're starting to join us. So let me say welcome again, everybody. Please let us know where you're watching the show. Write your comments, your questions in this chat box. We love interactions. We will do our best to answer them. So, Craig, as I mentioned earlier, we are here today to talk about AI hotel search. Hot topic. Everybody's very curious. Everybody's still trying to understand. Things are still happening. Is it's my understanding. But let's get this started. So, starting from the beginning, in your opinion, how is AI transforming the way travelers search for hotels, and especially what implications does this have for hotels' visibility in search results?
Sure. So I think you hit the nail on the head, Paula. This is something that's changing at a very rapid pace. So it's important to obviously be aware of the changes that are happening, and then how best to prepare your hotel portfolio guests for that change. So I think I have a visual. I'll show you kind of what we're seeing from our end, and hopefully everyone will be able to see it from their end. Let's see. Share the entire screen. Perfect.
Let me
Awesome.
do it now. You can see.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Awesome. Thanks for doing that, Paula. So I think, just to set the stage, what are we talking about? So um, AI powered search, um, the biggest contribution we're seeing in this area is from ChatGPT. So a lot of consumers, guests are taking to this platform to find information online. Here at Milestone, we've done our own research, and it's true. Every single month, this is growing, right? In some cases, doubling the amount of visitors going to websites, hotel websites from ChatGPT search. The last time, just to give some perspective, the last time we saw a similar trajectory was when the smartphone was released. So that was, I think the Apple iPhone was 2008. So by 2009, we were starting to see contribution, and then the ramp up was rather aggressive. If you fast forward to today, hotels, the traffic from those devices is more than half, maybe even 60% for some hotels. And so this is the biggest disruption we've seen in probably the last 25 years in how guests can potentially find your hotel and find your content. They're using these LLMs, these large language models like ChatGPT and Google AI overviews. They're using images to search and videos. They're consuming more content than ever because of the ease that these represent. And this is truly a fundamental shift in, how we've promoted our hotels in the past, to how we're doing it today, where it's kind of that prompt, generation, that we just need to be in tune with, and then we need to address it as an opportunity.
Yeah. Do you personally actually use it? For
It's a great
are
question.
you using it?
Yeah, I'm using it. I was going to say exclusively. As you know, I've kind of shared my experiences on LinkedIn and how I've used these tools for my own family vacations. So, yes, the short answer is yes. And I find that at a personal level, um, I'm using it for most things, right? Dinner recipes, recommendations, um, how to's.
Yeah.
I recently got a new used car, and just trying to fix that. So there's definitely, from a consumer perspective, if I were being selfish, there's so many benefits in using these AI tools for whatever the need is. I'm passionate about hospitality, so I'm obviously excited about that opportunity for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But one before I continue, just let me say hello because people are saying hello from the chat. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah. So let me hello from Morocco. Hello from India as well. Chile is in the house. Hello from Mexico. Yeah. Thanks everyone for the interaction and for hello from Uruguay, UK. Okay, it's really global. The audience, that's really awesome. Thanks everyone for joining us. And again, feel free to ask your questions to Craig here. He's here to try to answer you as best as he can. And things are still developing, as we said. But one thing that I think a lot of people wonder, and myself too, Craig, is okay. So we have this amazing assistant, that provide us very quick and easy question answers. But where does this AI get the information? I
great
think
question.
that's where the trust, I think, is still not there. At least from my side, to be honest,
Sure,
it's because
sure.
yeah, where it's coming from.
And it's a great question, Paul. I think, and the short answer is it's changing rapidly, just as this technology is, and it's
Mhm.
developing, right? A couple of the things that uh, I followed and our team is following, one area is Foursquare. So if you remember back in the day, or several years back, this was kind of a social media network. Um, and not necessarily within the top three, like Foursquare, or I'm sorry, Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
now TikTok. But what they did, which was brilliant, they developed a network of profiles and business information. So Foursquare came out and said a couple months back, and I linked to the actual LinkedIn post, where they partnered with OpenAI and ChatGPT Search to deliver those profiles and business information. So whenever you see in ChatGPT Search a map or a business name, an address, a link, those are examples that are coming directly from Foursquare. So it's so
Oh.
important that hospitality has a presence there. They're maintaining it, they're managing it. The other area that is, still developing is ChatGPT's relationship with Microsoft and Bing. So it, early on, that was something that that most people assumed. So as SEOs started addressing the opportunity that ChatGPT represented, they looked to Microsoft Bing to try and optimize.
Mm-hmm.
Bing recently rolled out an initiative called Index Now, where any website can publish their content and feed it directly into their index, right? Where, anytime you add a page or change content for hotels, let's say you're adding a seasonal offer, that initiative will allow you to immediately get that information into their index, and obviously surfaced, not only on Bing, but as I mentioned, ChatGPT. So those are two examples. Obviously, the list is growing rapidly. What I'll say along the lines of where they're getting their information, just like Google, they crawl the internet for content.
Mm-hmm.
So because they're not the size of Google, they have less, resources, less computing power, less servers. And so it's important that they're as efficient as possible. So this is an area that I think most hoteliers just should continue to watch, because this is laying out a very nice blueprint on where you should be active, what you should prioritize. These are just a couple, but I'm sure there are more, and there will be more that will be released. So it's important that we follow them.
Oh, that's very, very interesting. I haven't heard much about the two that you just mentioned for Garden and Microsoft, and it's yeah, it's a very good tip. People are still talking here. Sorry, Greg, I got a bit
Yeah,
distracted.
that's okay.
People are saying hello here from Panama as well.
Wow,
And Flavia
wonderful.
is asking me from Rio de Janeiro. Yes, I am, Flavia. Carioca means that's just a translation here. Thanks, everyone. And okay, so we're starting to understand where they're getting the information. As you said, things are still, again, I'm going to say this 100 times just to people understand that they're still developing. So this is still everybody learning and even AI learning itself.
Brilliant.
But okay, so we know now kind of where they're getting the information. And I think the second most asked question is what are the key ranking criteria? So because everybody of
Sure.
course wants to rank well, right?
Sure.
So what you're seeing in your experience, Greg, you're testing so much.
Mhm.
So what you're seeing is the key ranking criteria that AI engines are using to suggest hotels.
Sure. And I think just to understand that, and I have a visual, hotels are appearing today in ChatGPT search, and they're actually seeing, as we saw in that graph at the beginning, a significant contribution from these LLMs like ChatGPT search. In my own experience, and we touched on that, Paula, these tools are, revolutionary for guests to, find the right um, uh, option for them and their vacation, their needs. These are three examples, and just note the actual search that I did. It's kind of funny, but they're all related to my particular needs. So I looked for,
Mhm.
I narrowed down to a few different options. I asked about the hotel. Do they have a hot tub? Uh, my wife loves those properties that have hot tubs just to break away. And are they good for families, right?
Yeah.
Are they pet friendly? We do have a small dog. Do they serve pancakes? My 7-year-old is in a lot of ways addicted to pancakes. Do they have spa services? Again, looking after my wife, and do they get good reviews? If you search that today or previously, if you used, Google or Bing or, you would get probably some answers, but you would likely be lost in the irrelevant information that was served back. In all three examples, this was very accurate, right? Where, again, they're pulling information from across the web, they're summarizing it in nice, clean format, they're giving me images. um, the thing that stood out to me in all three of these examples, and you're welcome to use them as inspiration, the hotel's actual direct website was part of the results, right? Which
Yeah.
again, that's like the holy grail for marketers. We want to be part of this conversation and using this technology to our benefit. The question that you asked, Paula, is what can hotels do? So, full disclosure, those three were some of my clients, and they've all followed a similar formula. And again, this is an area that will continue to develop, but we are seeing some tangible success when doing each of these things correctly. What I'll say to the audience is there's never enough emphasis that we put on our website's technical health, the speed in which it loads, the access to the search engines, the crawlability, the indexability, the user experience on the websites, right? Making sure things are easily, readily available. Your, especially your, call to actions, your schema markup. I know it's a boring thing that we've talked about, here at Milestone since we're blue in the face. But it's important that you're leveraging those things so that whatever's crawling your site, they understand the information, they feel comfortable with you as an option, and then continue to build on that, right? Our content in hospitality is inherently helpful, right? So when Google and ChatGPT uses the term helpful content, are we answering frequently asked questions? Are we developing fresh content with event calendars and blogs? Are we, promoting our best imagery and videos? Are we managing all of those profiles, right? The Foursquare, the Google Business Profile, the Bing profiles. Are we writing posts on those platforms? I'm sure, if we're being honest, most of us are not. That's been something with Google Business Profile that's existed now for close to a year. That's definitely something that benefits to you today, but it also position you for the future. So, long answer to a short question, Paula. These are all things that you can be doing to kind of leverage this technology. And if we do have a moment, Paula, I'll kind of freestyle some more and show you other examples. And I'll go live if I could. Let me
Yeah.
know. Awesome. So you guys are
Uh,
getting the best here. Cool. Yep.
yeah. Let me
Awesome.
just while you're doing this, just let me say hello here to from Panama, I think it is. Yes, Gabriel, hello. From San Diego as well. So people are
Awesome.
still joining us. We're heading to the end of the show. So if you have any questions, any comments, this is the time to do it. So sorry, Craig, I interrupt you. Go ahead.
No worries. Yeah, I just wanted to show some live examples.
Sure.
So I could take as many screenshots as I'm blue in the face, but we're going to kind of freestyle here and show you a few examples and maybe examples of some of the content that might inspire you to develop or to add to your marketing. So in this question, if you could see my screen, Paula, can you confirm I have ChatGPT up? There's a map in the center.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
Yes.
in this example, I'm from Southern California, close to Los Angeles. This season, spring is brunch events are very popular. My family lives near Palos Verdes, which is in the South Bay along the coast, near Los Angeles and in Orange County. So I search for brunch events in Palos Verdes. Hoping to bring my family to, somewhere that might be cool and everyone could get a great experience. This map in the center and the business information, this numbered list, these are examples where it's coming from Foursquare, right? Again, that conversation about where is ChatGPT getting information. And
Yeah.
what you'll notice, there's this restaurant on the top, Marcel, Catalina Kitchen. Gosh, these sound great. Marcel might be a little bit too upscale for maybe my extended family, but this Catalina Kitchen looks fantastic. Um, what you'll notice, these links here. So if I go to this website, oh, sorry, I'm not online on this one. But what you'll see here is it's taking me to a resort, and this is their direct website, as you can see in the bottom left. These are great opportunities to get your content into ChatGPT search. They have information about their brunch that's obviously very relevant. Um, and by the way, that same information, so this is now on Google, where Google's AI overviews is just a summary on the top of the Google search engine results page. And again, I asked the same thing. There are several brunch events in Palos Verdes. This very first link is taking me to the same result. This is actually an event calendar listing that that resort has on their website. Great options. The other example of helpful content for hospitality is frequently asked questions. Again, this is another example. I'm not including necessarily the hotel or resort's name, but asking if they have views of the lake when visiting Lake Powell. And this link is, again, taking me to um, a resort directly. Obviously, TripAdvisor is in the mix. That would make
Yeah.
sense. But these are all examples of obviously how to follow that guide that I shared, and
Yeah.
what are the examples of how it's actually the output there.
Oh, that's awesome. I just want to highlight one thing that you mentioned before, Craig, and you said it now again. I think it's very important. You're talking about having the content in your website, and all, but it's also important to have it the website structure in a way that the crawlers can understand. So it's not only a matter of what you post or
Good
what you
point.
display, but how, right? Because
Good
I
point.
think maybe hoteliers don't understand the importance of a well-structured website.
And there's been a lot of conversation about search engine optimization, SEO, and how is that evolving. The term to remember today is generative engine optimization, GEO. A lot of the practices and a lot of the um, sort of results from that are appearing in this kind of evolution, this next generation with AI powered search. And so while a lot of the strategies might be similar to maybe what we're doing now, the emphasis is in slightly different areas. But you hit the nail on the head. I love that, Paula, where it's important that you have the content. They
Yeah.
can't surface something they do not have, but it's important that they also have access to it, that they understand it. That's where GEO or SEO tactics come into play. So don't forget that. It's an important part of that strategy.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, it's again, it's almost over our time here. It's
Yep.
actually a bit over already. I
Okay.
could do this for a longer time, or other chapters about it. But just before we go, Craig, one thing that you added in your research, and it's also my question, because I think you added like the reviews when you're
Yeah.
searching for a place. So I would like to know your opinion on how crucial are guest reviews in inflation AI generated hotel recommendations. Did they have an impact, and how can hotels also effectively manage their online reputation, or even do you think the number of reviews or overall score is more important? Like, what is your take on reviews? Let's
Sure,
say it like that.
sure. Ever since I worked in hotels and managed hotels, I think the practice that continues to stay consistent with anything that's any new trend, like in this case AI powered search. Ultimately, these tools are aimed to deliver a better user experience. So when we think about hospitality and the experience that we're giving our guests, I think that continues to be a critical component. Obviously, if these engines are surfacing information about your property, one of the main things, and we saw it in all those examples that I had given, there's some element of review to those results, right? So anytime if you're doing all these things great and your information is being indexed and surfaced, on things like ChatGPT search, just know that it's going to continue to carry your review rating, right? So it's so important. It's a fundamental thing that I think every hotel um, should be top of mind with every hotel. And might even be, I would even venture to say, some of the things that you should, fix immediately, right? Whether it's resolving a guest concern or, you know, um, adapting to feedback, um, that all of that information is going to be very focal with all this AI powered search as well. So while I can't comment on, the number of reviews and how often those appear, I haven't yet done that research, but I think just fundamentally, guest reviews should always be priority for
Yeah.
every hospitality business and every marketer, because you can't hide from it. So that's
Yeah.
that's a really good point, Paula. Thanks for bringing
Yeah.
it up.
Well, thank you so much, Greg. As I said, say one more here. Hello from Brazil. Hola from Brazil. Yeah, but again, Craig, I cannot thank you enough for being here. Thank you so much. This was really insightful and yeah, and very useful. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Paula. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us today. Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to follow Cloudbeds on LinkedIn. Again, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. See you next time. Bye bye.